All right, YouTube is live. Hey, what's up, guys, if you're watching the replay? Okay, so again, if you guys have any questions, comments, issues, things you're dealing with, let me know, post them in the comments. I'm going to go back over to the thread I posted this morning, and there was, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 questions that maybe I can try to help with. But yeah, or if you're just coming to hang out, awesome. Let me know that you're here, where you're from, all that stuff. So yeah, we're super really thankful and blessed by all you guys that got the grocery webinar. If you guys haven't checked that out, we just launched it over on our website, hustlebuddiesofficial.com. But yeah, we did a whole in-depth webinar about how to find replenishable items, how to find groceries, all of that stuff. We really go into not just the basics, but we also get into like how to add new products or make bundles, things like that, and get GTIN exemptions. So definitely check that out if you have not. All right, where is my post from this morning? Sorry, give me just a second, guys. And then going through those questions. I wonder if I was tagged. The Facebook algorithm doesn't really know what to do with my notifications because there's so many people who comment on my statuses. So oftentimes I don't even get notified when people comment on my posts. Yeah, that's from last night. I don't think I got any notifications about people commenting on that post. If anyone can see it on their screen, if you can link it in chat, that'd be awesome. But hey, Lynn, how's it going? Hey, Sheena. In SoCal. Oh, man. I bet the weather's pretty nice over there. And the weather's nice here, too. I'm in Orlando, but Diva's on. Hey, how's it going? Diva is our first official affiliate for Hustle Buddies. So if you guys took any of the webinars, things like that, and you liked them, and you want to get paid for promoting them, let me know, and I'll set you up with an affiliate account. And then basically anyone who clicks on your link and then gets any of our classes, you'll get credited for. So like Sheena, if you wanted that for anything in your group, let me know. And if not, that's totally cool as well. Sorry, I'm still looking for this post, and I cannot find the stupid thing. Because I posted it this morning. What's that? Yeah, did I search 3 and then me? Trying to think of what I titled it. Maybe AMA. Friday. No, that's from like 2 months ago. One of this morning's. Ah, there we go. Someone just posted on it and it notified me. Okay, so I'm over on Facebook. And if you're watching YouTube, by the way, and you're not a part of our Facebook group, go check that out. It's facebook.com/groups/hustlebuddies. And if you're on our Facebook group and you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, go and do that. It's youtube.com/c/hustlebuddiesofficial. Okay, over on Facebook. Courtney asks, when you realized you made a bad buy, like for example, Amazon doesn't share the buy box, what is your strategy? When do you pull the trigger? I mean, we make bad buys frequently, and I commented on that, but I never don't buy something because Amazon is on the listing, and I've never had any noticeable times where Amazon didn't share the buy box enough so that I got 0 sales. Like it's so rare that it's not even something that I look at or consider when I'm looking at products personally. Yeah, usually the only time it matters if Amazon is on the listing is if Amazon, let's say they're on a grocery item, for example. Well, if Amazon's on the listing, oftentimes they're selling it for the same price that I'm buying it for at Walmart. So it's not the fact that Amazon's on the listing, it's the fact that this box of cereal is $3 and you won't make any profit on that. Okay. But yeah, as far as other kinds of bad buys, it sort of depends on the item, depends on the fees and all of that. If there's ways that I can fix it, then I'll try to do that. Otherwise, usually I'll let stuff sit there for a while. And then usually at like the 6-month mark, I'll sort of reevaluate. And if I'm okay letting it sit for another 6 months, then I'll reevaluate it just before the 12-month mark when you get the long-term storage fees that start kicking in. Kiana asks, how many times do you fix stranded inventory, high pricing errors, listing errors, till you say forget it? Too many. Yeah, we constantly have all of those errors going on. I'm constantly opening up support tickets and trying to fix things myself, and then closing things and refixing them. So fortunately, it's an ongoing battle, Kiana. Can't give you much more encouragement than that, but we all deal with it. So yeah. Rachel asks how to fix high pricing error. Yeah, same thing. Unfortunately, there's not. So I want to say 6 months ago, maybe 8 months ago, Amazon came out with this whole new thing about their fair pricing policy, and it's one of the worst things that happened to arbitrage. Sorry, our kid's crying in the background. But yeah, yeah, my wife's with him. Yeah, it was one of the tougher things to happen to arbitrage, especially online arbitrage people, where the things that you're finding are easily findable by computer system scraping websites. Because basically Amazon, usually when they're doing a high pricing error, it's because their algorithm has detected that item sells for a certain amount on another website, and you're selling it for much higher. And so it just suppressed the buy box. So usually that's what's happening. Unfortunately, you just have to keep lowering the price until they're okay with it. Then sometimes you can raise it, not always. I will say make sure that you set your min and your max price in that pricing dashboard. Set your min and your max so that whatever your price is perfectly in between. And then keep going, like every couple days, just do them again, refresh, try to get them listed again. So it's a constant battle, though. There's no like perfect permanent fix that everyone can just use. Deanna asks, is there a way to interpret if an item is a good mover when the keepa is based on the parent ASIN? Yes, but not without paying more money for more tools. So in general, oftentimes oftentimes the case with that is with clothing, especially, you'll see the ranking. Can I get a drink? You'll see the clothing, like keepa ranking is going to be for the parent listing. So usually I will look at how many variations are on it. So let's say you have a bra that is ranked like 100,000 or maybe 150,000. Usually I would buy that because that's a pretty decent ranking, and I just know from experience that I don't really need to check the keepa charts. But if that bra that's ranked 150,000, if that has like 50 different colors and each of those colors has 20 different sizes, I'll probably pass, because that's so many variations to be sharing that parent that it's probably not really going to sell. There are ways to check the individual sales of individual variations, but it's more subscriptions that I don't really want people to get right now. I mean, once you're at a larger level, yeah, absolutely, you can get that stuff. But for the most part, the people in this group, they don't need to add more subscriptions to their bottom line. Someone asks if that's a good buy, and they posted a keepa chart. You should post that over in our "Is this a good buy" thread on the Facebook group. So just do that search, "Is this a good buy?" and then post it in there. Tracy, I have some items boxed individually to protect them from bad shipping. I'm putting the label with the barcode on the outside of the box. Is there a sticker I need? Yeah, I would recommend put a little sticker on the outside. You can put like "sold as a set." That's usually what people use. Or there's other things like "ready to ship." So yeah, there's plenty of stickers out there that work. Just make sure you get the point across and that it's bright orange, so that the overworked and underpaid Amazon employees don't mess it up. Chelsea asks, in one of your videos, you mentioned when buying clothing, you don't look at the keepa chart. Yeah, so usually for clothing, the keepa chart will be for the parent ASIN, and so it's not as useful. So with clothing, in general, I stay under like 100,000 or 150,000. I'll go outside of that all the time, but just to give you a basic frame of reference as far as ranking that's specific to clothing, if you stay under 100,000, you're probably pretty safe. And that's also, that's one of the reasons, like clothing is a fantastic example of why sales rank charts, I don't like them at all, because a sales rank chart will tell you that a clothing item ranked like 1.5 million is in the top 1%. And that's a garbage ranking for a clothing item, unless it has absolutely no variations. But clothing always has variations. And so if something's ranked like 1.5 million and there's a white, a black, a pink, a blue, a purple, and each of those is like a small, medium, large, extra large, XXL, and all of that, like that's whatever you bought is never going to sell. So it doesn't really work with clothing. I would stay under like 100,000, 150,000. Lisa. She wants to know about variations. I'm actually, one of my projects for this weekend is to add specifically a variation video to our grocery deep dive webinar. It'll be as like an extra unit at the end of it. So anyone who's in it will see that extra unit and can complete it. So I'll be doing a video specifically for that. Basically, you have to create the new listing and then create the parent listing and then merge them all together. That's a general concept. All right, so that's all from the Facebook post I did this morning. I'm going to get to some live questions. So first, I'm going to start over on YouTube, and then I'll pop back over to Facebook, and then I'll jump back over, see if there's more. Okay, over on YouTube, David Brown, what's up, man? Flip your dollar, very choppy. Yeah, I don't know if that's on my end or your end. All right, popping over to Facebook. You can get in there. Okay, so again, if you guys have questions or things that you're dealing with that you want to post them in the comments, and I will try and get to them as I can. Let's see. Tracy, how's it going? So Lisa, if you're trying to add a variation for something that has no parent, like it's a standalone listing, it's not already a variant listing, you'll have to create the parent for that. Joseph, what's up, man? Jessica, hey, how's it going? Yeah, Jessica, I think you're on like all the live videos. Loida, do you know any wholesale for grocery and topical in Canada trying to ungate? I mean, I'm not a great resource as far as stuff outside the US because I'm in the US. Everything I buy is in the US. I sell in the US. If I had to guess, I don't see why buying from something like the Wholesale Co-op. We did a whole video on YouTube, Loida, if you haven't seen it, for how to get ungated in grocery. And we talked about a wholesalers like Wholesale Frontier.Wholesale Co-op or Wholesale.Frontier Co-op or something like that. That should work for Canada, even though it's a US company. I can't guarantee it. I don't really know all the import-export stuff and what Amazon.ca needs. So unfortunately, I'm not a great resource for that just because, I don't know anything about selling in Canada. All right. See if there's any other comments. There we go. Chat is really, really glitchy right now. Sorry, guys. Yeah, as you have comments, feel free to post them. I wonder if I can pull this up on my phone and then I can see them. I don't have my phone. But do you ever run ads? Yeah, we run ads basically on everything that we have. So we'll run like a 3-cent PPC campaign. Well, that's funny. Kayla and Diva are both watching this. The Rio sisters. Lisa asks about how to run PPC for like a couple cents. I don't know if we've done a YouTube video. I know we talked about it. I don't remember if it was the arbitrage webinar or the Q4 webinar that we talked about it, but it's pretty simple. It doesn't really need like its own standalone thing. You just go to your advertisements, set a campaign, add all your items, and make the max cost or max bid 2 cents. That's all you need. If someone messaged you to ask to cancel their order, will that hurt your metrics if you cancel the order? I don't do a whole lot of merchant fulfilled. I just don't have time for it. Between Hustle Buddies and 2 kids and a regular business, I don't really do merchant fulfilled. So I'm not super familiar with that. I would guess that pretty much anything that is a cancel sort of hurts your metrics, but I don't know 100%. Lisa, how do you fix an item you sent in and then realized the ASIN you attached is now linking to a different size? Yeah, you just do a removal order. There's no way to like change what it is or where it is or anything like that. You just have to remove it and then relist it. If you receive a negative rating or comment, do you always respond? No, I never respond. No one looks at those. Tracy asks, sent an item with no issue and before it got to the fulfillment center, Amazon deleted the listing. Any way to fix that? Possibly. You might be able to get it to be relisted. You might create a new listing or whatever. Yeah, it might work out. It might not. If it doesn't, then you'll just do a removal order, get it back to you, and then create the listing when you actually have the product in hand, and then list it again under that. Amazon doesn't like delete limited edition food items. That's not a no-no on Amazon. So if it was deleted, it was probably for another reason. There's plenty of limited edition food stuff that is sold. Sorry guys, there is something in my throat, like a little popcorn kernel or something. How much does Keepa cost? I think it's like 17 euros, whatever the conversion rate is.
It's $17.
Oh, 17 US dollars, 14 euros? I thought it was the other way. I don't know, whatever the conversion rate is. It's a European company, so you'll see the cost in euros. Brandy, how do you go about getting FDA registration proof? You don't need to anymore. The categories that require it for ungating, like food. Yeah, you shouldn't need to register as an FDA facility anymore. You used to have to. Grocery used to be like hardcore gated when we first started. And we actually had to register like our house as like an FDA food prep facility warehouse thing. But I don't believe you have to do that anymore. Diva says, why do you run PPC for 3 cents? To catch the stuff that no one else is advertising for. We don't want to beat anyone else's advertisements. We just want to be advertised where there are no advertisements. Amazon would rather make 3 cents from us than 0 cents from nobody. Stair steps versus large dips. I don't know if there is a correct answer. Maybe I'm just not well versed enough in Keepa. Just some items appear differently. If the rank goes down, it's being purchased. If the rank is going up, it's not being purchased. Oh, someone said that Keepa is 16 US dollars. Another question, how do we open a case if they received our item, but not all are showing up and one says research?
Oh.
Like an error next to your item?
It was a reason it says that you have discrepancy between what you sent and what they received.
Oh, in the shipment where there's like a discrepancy between what you sent and what they received. Yeah, so I would recommend pressing the little research button.
Or it could be the box dimensions are incorrect.
Oh, and Alicia says, or it could be that your box dimensions were incorrect. Like you said,
They are.
yeah, like you said, a box was like 24 by 24 by 24, but when it was shipped, it got like smushed and pancaked. So now it's really 20 by 20 by 30. So that will also happen. Yeah, it's happened to us. So we don't get boxes that are like 24 inches anymore. If you're unaware of this, you're not supposed to send stuff that's over 25 inches unless it is specifically specified as oversized, and then it like that's an oversized shipment, and then it would be separate than a regular shipment. But usually you can't send stuff that's over 25 inches. So try to keep your boxes under that. I think, is it Home Depot? They keep switching their sizes around. We've been using Lowe's for a while, but they just switched their sizes. I think Home Depot has a 22 by 22 by 22 box, which is what we're getting next.
If you click research and it says like reconcile or whatever, and you know that you were correct, make sure you don't like admit to your.
Oh yeah, Alicia also mentions when you're in like that reconcile tab for your shipment, if they say there was this issue, but you know for a fact that they are wrong, like let's say they said, oh, your package weighed 60 pounds, but you know for a fact it weighed 48, or they say it weighs 52 and it's like over that 50 pound mark. Don't admit that you are wrong. Yeah, I would keep fighting that. What will happen eventually, like if you have enough dings against your shipment account, then they won't let you send another shipment until you basically send them like it's like a plan of action specific for shipping. Like, how are you going to not make these shipping mistakes? Someone said that they lost sound. I think we're good now. My sister dropped off 2 packages at UPS. By the way, guys, if you're on either of these places, drop your comments in the comment section, and I will try and get to them. Right now, I'm over on Facebook looking there, and then I'll jump back over to YouTube to see if there's any questions going on over there. Okay, so on Facebook, April asks, my sister dropped off 2 packages at UPS. Their weight was much different than mine. My scale is accurate. I would say UPS's scale is probably also accurate. One box was 1.74. I would be very surprised if any box weighed 1.2 pounds. Like an empty box weighs about a pound. So I don't know what you put in that box, but I would go with that 4.1 pound thing. Yeah. Well, we've had a couple issues like with weights. So back in the beginning, I'll just give you a couple examples. Maybe there's like a corner of the box that was touching the ground or touching a wall or touching something else. And so it like the full weight of the item wasn't dead center on the scale. That was an issue. Or it was like on the little display that told us the weight. That happened a couple times. What else? Our kid hit the button to change it from pounds to kilograms and no one noticed. So we like tried to send a whole shipment, but it was all in kilograms. So we were like, oh yeah, this is 14 pounds, but it was 14 kilograms, which is like 40 pounds. So the UPS guy came, picked up a box. This isn't 15 pounds. So yeah, so don't do that. Yeah. And also just as a side note, if you're sending boxes that are like 1 pound or 4 pounds, there's no way that you're actually getting charged the weight of it. You'll be charged the dimensional weight. So if you're in the Facebook group, do a search for dimensional shipping weight, and that's what Amazon and UPS is charging you. It doesn't really matter what the box actually weighs. You'll be charged dimension stuff if it's that low. Brandy, dietary, for example, requires COA, FDA, a couple other options. Yeah, okay, there are some things. I want to reiterate a point that we say a lot, and it's that getting ungated is not like a secret sauce to success. Yeah, there's some great things, but getting ungated just to be ungated in something isn't really worth the time or the headache or the frustration or the figuring out. If you found like a whole pallet of dietary stuff that's on crazy clearance and you're like, man, I got to get this stuff and ship it in, I'll make $1,000. Maybe it's worth your time. But if you're just getting something like dietary supplements just to have it, then don't bother, because almost everything will automatically open up after you've been doing this for a year plus. All right. There's a lot of great questions on Facebook. I'm going to pause on the Facebook and jump over to the YouTube stream, so don't ignore my people over here. Oscar over on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, make sure you're heading over to YouTube and subscribing and liking our channel, all that stuff. We post a lot of great stuff over here. What's your typical hours per week sourcing? That varies so drastically. Usually I'll have like a dollar amount per week that I'm buying. I feel like that gives me a better, so Oscar asks if we have a weekly goal or a weekly number of units or a dollar amount that I'm trying to spend. Can I get some more water, Alicia? Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah, usually I'll do a dollar amount. I find that I make better purchases. I make better purchases when there's like a finite amount. If I have infinite money, I tend to make worse choices because I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll just buy everything. But if there's a finite amount that I can spend, even if I could spend an infinite amount of money, if there's something finite where it's like, okay, I have, I don't know, $3,000 to spend at this store, I'll narrow down my choices a lot more. And it's, instead of buying everything that I think is all right, I'll spend a little bit more time finding the stuff that is really good. Oscar says 80% of the mix you have is not gated. Yeah, I think usually, I mean, I say 70%. It's not like an exact every week, it changes. But what's the majority mix of that? Bras. That's why we do the whole bras Kohl's webinar. It's on our website. I highly recommend it because it's such an easy place for people to start. And clearly it still works because it's still where so much of our stuff comes from. We just sell all this clothing stuff that no one's gated in. So dietary supplements, they can be great. Have I sold any dietary supplements? I don't think we've sold a single, maybe like a box from Walmart clearance, maybe. But for us, clothing is just far and away the easiest and most profitable for us and our business. And it's not gated, so that's why I recommend it so much to beginners. Heather asks, she's in the process of getting a shipment from EE, bought 10 items, 7 are out of stock, so the invoice does not show what I paid. Can I still get ungated? I'm not sure. You can try. That's about all I can say. You can try. I don't know. You are welcome to try. Nick, tips on sourcing after Valentine's Day. If you can, so I can't tonight because I'm actually meeting with someone early tomorrow morning, but I'm doing a coaching thing in the morning. But if you can, go out tonight, like midnight, 2 a.m., and just clear out all the candy. That's 50% off. That is my tip for sourcing after Valentine's Day. Oscar, total dollar amount on Amazon inventory currently. Yeah, but I'm not going to talk about that publicly. All right, back over to Facebook. Run into issues getting a COA for dietary, other options, GPM, I think it's called. Yeah, there's a lot of things. I'd say do some YouTube searches and Google searches. It's kind of a deeper, longer conversation. Liza, oh, my bad. Like the song, da 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 da, dear Liza, dear Liza. A music teacher, sorry. When do you decide to pull a product? It was in my first shipment. Amazon's not sharing the buy box. It's plenty stocked. Are you beating them in price? Beat Amazon by a penny. Beat them by $1. Beat them by $1.50. Eventually, they should. How long has it been? Like, yeah, if you're part of this group, the vast majority of people in this group have been selling on Amazon less than 5 months. And you don't need to think about what you have to do with your product if it's been there for 5 months. Once you reach 11 months, yeah, then you start thinking about what you want to do with it. But if it's been there for a couple months, don't worry about it. If you do want to just get your money back, like if it was a bad buy and you're like, man, I don't have this budget to just wait for this item to sell, you could sell it at a break even or even at a slight loss just to get that sourcing money back if that's important to you. But it really depends on where you're at in your business and sort of what you need. Randy over on Facebook asks, when you scan an item and are given several different listings to select, how do you decide which one? I'd say there's not like a good single answer for that. I look at multiples of them. Oftentimes, especially with like grocery, for example, if you scan something and there's multiple listings, oftentimes it's not actually multiple listings for the same thing. It might be like a 1-pack, 2-pack, 4-pack, 12-pack, 24-pack type of deal. Oftentimes there's one in there that's like prime pantry, which doesn't apply to you at all. So I would just look through the listing, make sure it all checks out and there's no big red flags or anything like that. But then if everything checks out and all things are the same, then go with the one that sells faster. Do not sell on multiples of them. So let's say you're getting Oreos or something and there's like 7 different listings for a 1-pack of this flavor of Oreo. Don't list it on all 7 of those. Just go with one of them. April says 1 item in the box. I'm not sure what. Oh, you had the weight question. 1 item in the box. Yeah, you'll be charged dimensional weight, so it doesn't really matter what you put for the weight. And also, I always tell people, like, if you're weighing this at home, unless you have like a shipping scale at home, add another 3 pounds to it because it won't really affect a whole lot. Someone asks, speaking of which, how do you polybag an item that is in a box but has a small hole to touch it, but there isn't a bag big enough? So you can use, we actually just did this. It's a couple options. You just need to make sure that it has no more exposed fabric. So oftentimes products like that, Lisa, so like the example that I have, it was a really big blanket. It was in a box, but it had a hole so you could like see the blanket and some of the fabric was poking out. Amazon didn't tell us that it had to be polybagged, but Amazon doesn't want any exposed fabric, and I don't want warehouse dust and dirt and stuff getting into this blanket because that would be gross and nasty. So basically what we did is we took stretch wrap or shrink wrap and we just went all around the box a couple times just to cover where that hole was, and then we taped it off so that it couldn't like move around and come off the hole. But yeah. Top 5 stores for clothing. Kohl's is good. We did a whole webinar on it. Kohl's is good. I like Burlington, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. I don't know, Macy's. I don't really go past those first 4. Like, well, I guess so. I'll say Kohl's, and then all of like if you're Unguided, Under Armour outlet, Nike outlet, Adidas outlet, Converse outlet. Those are the top stores. But as far as beginners, you're going to be looking at places like Burlington, TJ Maxx, DD's Discount, Ross. Those types of stores are where beginners are going to be going. We don't have a webinar for seasonal stuff like Easter and St. Patrick's Day or anything like that yet, but that's a good idea. Maybe I should put one together. I'm thinking actually for our next webinar to do one about like ungating. We're talking to someone who has some connections where we could sort of like train people on how to get themselves ungated in stuff. And we're talking like dietary, baby topical, Nike, Under Armour, like the big ones, not just basic like, here's how to get ungated in grocery, because we can do a free video about that. But the big things like, here is a wholesale supplier to get you ungated in Nike, things like that. We're thinking about maybe providing that to the group and setting it up so that you would do everything yourself. So it's all TOS compliant. You're not photoshopping anything or any weird stuff like that. But yeah, that's sort of, that bug was sort of put in our ear, and I think that could be a cool idea for the group. So we might do that in the coming month or so. How come some things say restricted in red, but there are FBA sellers on it? Probably, my guess is that you're restricted, but someone else is not restricted. All right, I think that's all the questions on Facebook. I'm going to check YouTube one more time, and then I will probably sign off. It's been about 30, 40 minutes now. Let's see. Oh, YouTube is like completely frozen right now. There we go. All right. What is the best way to deal with any item that will not sell? I would say first, fix the listing. Make sure you got your keywords in there. Make sure it's got bullet points and everything checks out. If it's a variation, maybe you can add it to where it needs to be. Like if you just have a standalone clothing listing, for some reason it's not on the main variation listing, you can fix that, fix images. You can run advertisements to it, like bump up your ad spend. There was someone in the group talking about doing coupons that they really like doing that. So there's a lot of ways to do it. Usually I let it sit for a long time before I'm worrying about any of that stuff. All right, I think we are coming to an end. I'll see if there's any last questions over on Facebook. How do you know the better wholesalers are? How do you know like if a wholesaler is legitimate? If a wholesaler is legitimate, then they will ask you for your tax ID or your EIN number or something like that. If they are not legitimate, then they will not ask you for that information. Basically, a true wholesaler wouldn't be set up to charge sales tax. Because they're not set up to charge sales tax, because they're not selling to the end customer, they're only selling to distributors, then they need your tax information so that they're staying compliant. Or they're like a Chinese company and they don't care about taxes anyways. So if they're not asking you for any sort of tax information, then they're not a good wholesaler. Yeah. Or if they say like, oh, we have pallets of Amazon items, that's not a wholesaler, that's a liquidation place, and that is not what you're looking for. You can't sell that stuff. I mean, technically you can, but don't sell that stuff. You should not. It's you're playing with a lot of fire there. You mentioned buying out Valentine's candy. Does it retain value? Should we avoid Valentine's themed stuff? I mentioned buying out candy. Yes, I did. Does it retain its value? Most of it, yes. Should you avoid Valentine's themed stuff? It depends on how it's themed. So, for example, those big bags of like to you from me of like airheads or nerds or something like that, I would probably avoid that kind of stuff. But if you see, let's say, like Cadbury, those little chocolates, like Cadbury bunnies, that stuff will sell all year round. Or maybe Starburst pinks. Okay, that stuff will sell all year round. Bunny-shaped Reese's Pieces, that stuff will sell all year round. So yeah, it sort of depends on how it's themed Valentine's wise. If it's like those little individual boxes that you give to like a first grader to give to their teacher, yeah, probably not that stuff. That doesn't retain its value very well. But like hearts and bunnies and pink and reds and all that stuff retains its value. Frontier never asked for an EIN. Yeah, so Frontier, if you did the free version, they don't ask you for your EIN, and they probably charge you tax on that, which is a little bit funny. There's sort of an odd one. If you went for the professional account, I believe they ask you for your tax information. I saw someone else talking about that, so yeah. All right, so it's been about 45 minutes. I appreciate it, guys. Oh, we got one more thing. What is your margin for private label every month? 0. I sell 0 private label items every month. What city do you live in? Orlando. It's nice and hot here. All right, it's been great, guys. Those were some great questions. Just a reminder that we have launched our grocery deep dive webinar. So if you head over to our website, it's hustlebuddiesofficial.com, and you look through just all the testimonials and stuff like that. People have been getting a ton of value from that. It really took off. We had like 100 people sign up for that in those first couple of days. So yeah, it really took off. We're going to be doing some advertising for it. We're looking for more affiliates as well. So if you took it and you got a lot out of it and you want to share it with friends and get paid a little bit for that, let me know and I will sign you up as an affiliate. All right, we'll see you guys. Have a good one and happy Valentine's. Hustle on.